Hello students, welcome to digital classes of Malla Reddy Memorial School. Today we are going to learn the topic from metals and non-metals, that is chemical properties of metals and non-metals. We know metals and non-metals are very important to our life. So what are the chemical properties of these metals and non-metals? How they are categorized under chemical properties of these metals and non-metals. See here, already you know valence electrons of these metals and non-metals. When the elements are having 1, 2, 3 as the valence electrons, they are ready to lose one electron from its valency shell to get octet configuration. That means they are loses their one electron or two electrons or three electrons to get stable with near noble gas element. So those type of elements are known as metals. Yes. So the valence electrons of 1, 2, 3 elements or loses their electrons. Yes, they are known as metals. And the elements with 5, 6, 7 valence electrons in the valency shell, that is in the outermost shell, they are gain the electron to stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell to get 8 electrons, that means to get octet configuration, to get near noble gas element configuration, they are gaining the electrons. For example, if the element is having valency electrons of 5, so how many electrons it will gain from other element to get stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell? Well, the element with 5 valence electrons, it will take 3 more electrons from other element. When it gain 3 electrons, it will stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. Similarly, the element with 6 electrons, it will gain 2 electrons. The element with 7 electrons, it will gain 1 electron. So they are stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell when they gain the electrons. So such type of elements are known as non-metals. So finally we have the valency electrons 4. So the elements which are having valency electrons 4, they do not lose the electrons or they do not gain the electrons. Instead of gaining or losing, they can share the electrons. So such type of elements are known as metalloids. They are not losing the electrons and they do not gain the electrons. Instead of losing and gaining, they can share the electrons. Such type of elements are known as metalloids. See here, sodium, this is the 1A group element. So it is having the electrons 2, 8, 1. So when it want to stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell, it will lose 1 electron. Yes, you can see here, it will lose 1 electron, then it will stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. Then it will form Na plus. So this sodium is loses 1 electron. So it will form Na plus. When the element is loses an electron, it will gain the positive charge. When the element is gain the electron, it will get negative charge. So here sodium is losing 1 electron from its outermost shell because it want to stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell to get near noble gas configuration. So when it is loses this 1 electron, it will get the electronic configuration 2, 8. So then it is stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. Similarly, chlorine. So chlorine is a non-metal. So it is having valency electrons 7. What it will do to stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell? Yes, so here it will gain 1 electron to get stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. So you can see here it will take 1 electron and it will form chlorine minus. That means here you can see 2 comma 8 comma 8. So it will stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. Now it is stable. When it is gain 1 electron, now it is stable. So this valency of electrons for metals and non-metals. So for metals, the valency electrons are 1 comma 2 comma 3. That means they can lose the electrons. To get octet configuration in the valency shell, they can lose their electrons. Such type of elements are known as metals. And the non-metals. The non-metals having valency electrons are 5 comma 6 comma 7. So to get stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell, they can gain the electrons from other elements. Such type of elements are known as non-metals. So you can see here formation of ions in metals and non-metals. As we saw in before picture, sodium. Sodium is a metal. So it is loses 1 electron. When it is lost 1 electron, it will stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. So sodium, it loses an electron, it will form Na plus. And come to chlorine. This is belongs to non-metals. That means it can gain the electron to get stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. So the valence electrons are 7. When it is gained 1 electron from other element, it will stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. So here sodium is losing 1 electron. So chlorine will take that electron and it will stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. So you can see here configuration 2 comma 8 comma 8. So these elements are known as non-metals and sodium is comes under the metals. See here, and one more example, magnesium. So magnesium is also belongs to metals. So to get stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell, how many electrons magnesium will lose? Yes, it will lose 2 electrons from its valency shell. The configuration is 2 comma 8 comma 2. So it want to get nearest noble gas configuration. For that it will loses this valency 2 electrons. Then it will stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. So you can see here the configuration is 2 comma 8 after losing 2 electrons. So it becomes Mg plus 2. Plus 2 means it loses 2 electrons. So here non-metals, we are taken example as the oxygen. The configuration of oxygen is 2 comma 6. To get the valency electrons are 6. So to get stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell, oxygen needs 2 more electrons in the valency shell. So for that it will take 2 more electrons from other element. When it is gains the 2 electrons from other element, it will stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. You can see here, after taken 2 electrons, the oxygen becomes O minus 2. Minus 2 means here it is gaining the 2 electrons. So the configuration is 2 comma 8. So here oxygen is a non-metal and magnesium is a metal. So you can see here, negatively charged electrons are comes under cathode. and positively charged electrons are known as anodes. Okay, remember this, negatively charged electrons are known as cathode and positively charged electrons are known as anodes. So see here, discharge of ions. You can see here, sodium, when it is want to stable with 8 electrons, it will lose 1 electron from its valency shell. So then it is stable with 8 electrons in the valency shell. Yes. So 2, 8. So here sodium is losing an electron. So here it is discharged at cathode. So sodium plus. Yes, before we saw that to stable it is loses 1 electron. So then it is forms sodium plus, that means Na plus. So it is where it is discharged? At cathode. Yes, cathode means it is negative charge. Cation means it is positive charge. Cathode is a negative charge. So that's why it is discharged at cathode. We know in physics the opposite poles are attractive each other. So here Na plus and electron, this is minus, both are attract together. So it will form Na. And similarly non-metals, these are discharged at anode. Yes. So you can see here the single chlorine will not form. So that's why we are taken 2 chlorines. So it becomes Cl2. This is chlorine gas. So metals are discharged at cathode and non-metals are discharged at anode. So see here the reaction of metals and non-metals with acids. So we are taken the metal here sodium. When sodium is reacted with acid, it forms salt and it releases hydrogen gas. Here this sodium is reacted with acid, hydrochloric acid, and it is forms salt and releases hydrogen gas. So how the formation takes place here? So you can see here the hydrochloric acid changed into H plus and Cl minus. So here this sodium is plus. So this sodium plus is reacts with Cl minus and it will form NaCl to release hydrogen gas. From this solution the hydrogen gas is released. So we can say that when metals are reacts with acid, it will releases hydrogen gas. Then what about non-metals? You can see here non-metal as example chlorine, and we are taken the example of acid is H2SO4. So the H2SO4 changes into H plus and SO4 minus, HSO4 minus, and chlorine is also minus here. So the minus and minus cannot react here. To release H2, this formation is not takes place here. So here with non-metals there is no reaction takes place with acids. So the non-metals do not react with acids. Yes. So you can see here reaction of acids, metals and non-metals. So when metals are reacts with acid, it will form salt and releases hydrogen gas. The non-metals do not react with acids. Here one question is for you. The gas evolved when metals react with dilute acid is. So which gas is released when metals react with acid? Yes. When metals are reacts with acid, releases hydrogen gas. Remember that when metals are reacts with acid, releases hydrogen gas. Non-metals do not react with acids. So you can see here the calcium reacting with water. So when we are dropping a calcium in water, it is reacts with water and it is releases the gas. So which gas is released? That is hydrogen gas is released when the calcium is reacts with water. So you can see here when it is dropped in water, the bubble formation is formed here in the solution. So it releases one of the gas, that is hydrogen gas is released from this solution. So we can say that when the calcium is reacts with water, it will form calcium hydroxide and releases hydrogen gas. So calcium is also metal. So it is formed calcium hydroxide and hydrogen gas is released. So the formation of water is here H plus and OH minus. So calcium is a 2 plus. So here this calcium is reacts with OH minus and it releases hydrogen gas from this solution. Similarly, when we are taken potassium, it is also reacts with water. When it is reacts with water, it will form hydroxide, that is potassium hydroxide, and releases hydrogen gas. So these two are the metals here. So we can say that when the metals are reacts with water, it will form corresponding hydroxides. And you can see non-metals. So non-metals do not react with water. Here chlorine, it is negative charge, and H2O, that is changed into H plus and OH minus. So here to release H2 gas, it will not react with OH minus. So the minus and minus cannot attract. They are repel each other. So there is no formation of non-metals and there is no releasing of hydrogen gas from these non-metals. So simply we can say that non-metals do not react with water. So what is the nature of these oxides? We know when metals are reacts with water, it releases corresponding hydroxides. You can see here this Na2O is a sodium oxide. So how the sodium oxide is will form? When the sodium is reacts with oxygen, it will form sodium oxide, and when it is reacts with water, it will form sodium hydroxide. From oxides we are getting hydroxides. So the sodium is reacted with oxygen, it is formed sodium oxide, and sodium oxide is reacts with water, it is formed sodium hydroxide. Similarly, you can see calcium. So this is also metal. So when it is reacts with water, it will form calcium hydroxide. So what is the nature of oxides here? So we can say that this is a metal formation. That means when these metals are reacts with water, they will form corresponding hydroxides. As you can see here, thus non-metals. So SO2 and SO3 and 3SO2, so etc. So all these are when reacted with water, they are forming sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid and nitric acid. You can see here this NO, nitrous oxide. So here it is forming corresponding acids here. And when we are seeing the metal formation, there they are formed corresponding hydroxides. So from these two observations, we can say that the nature of oxides of metals, so non-metals, is the acidic oxides. Okay. So the nature of non-metals is acidic oxides and metals is basic oxides. So when metals reacts with oxygen, they will form corresponding oxides. When they are reacted with water, they will form corresponding hydroxides. Those are basic in nature. And when non-metals are reacted with water, they will form corresponding acids. They are acidic in nature. So we can say that metals are basic and non-metals are acidic in nature. You can see here the reactivity of metals. This is a metals activity series. So from up to down, you can see most reactive metals reactivity decreases and least reactive. So from top to bottom, the reactivity is decreases. From potassium to argentinum, the reactivity of metals is decreases. Yes? So you can see here from these reactivity order, we can see here when this calcium sulfate is reacts with zinc, it will form zinc sulfate and copper is taken out. That means it is separated from the solution. So here zinc is replaced as the copper. So it is formed zinc sulfate and copper is separated from the solution. And you can see the next example, copper sulfate and iron. So when these two are reacted, the iron is replaced as the copper. Again in this reaction also copper is separated out from the solution. So it is formed ferrous sulfate and copper is separated from the solution. So when zinc sulfate is reacted with copper, the copper cannot replace the zinc. Why it is? Because here why the reaction is not takes place, why the copper is not replaced the zinc. You can see here in the first example, the zinc is replaced as the copper. So it is formed zinc sulfate and copper is separated out from the solution. But in this, from zinc sulfate, the copper is not replaced as zinc. So there is no reaction takes place here. So you can see here why it is happens. The zinc is replace the copper. It is formed zinc sulfate and copper is separated from the solution. But when zinc sulfate is reacts with copper, copper does not replace the zinc. There is no reaction takes place here. So we can see here in this metal activity series. So from top to bottom, the metals reactivity decreases. So you can see here the zinc is placed here and copper is placed here. So zinc is more reactive than copper. So from this we can say that zinc is replaced as the copper and copper does not replace the zinc because the reactivity of copper is less than zinc. The reactivity of zinc is more than copper. So that's why the zinc replaces the copper from the solution and copper does not replace the zinc from the solution because of the reactivity. The reactivity is less for copper and reactivity is more for zinc. So we can say that this is a displacement reaction. So reaction in which A more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal from its solution. That type of reaction is known as displacement reaction. As we saw, zinc is more reactive element than copper. So it is replaces the copper from the solution, and copper is a less reactive metal than zinc. So that's why it does not replaces the zinc from the solution. So we can say that this reaction is the displacement reaction. That means the more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal from solution. So you can see here, well, the reaction takes place. You are seeing here, in this watch glass copper powder is there, and in this beaker ferrous sulphate solution is there. So when we are mixing this copper to this ferrous sulphate solution, whether the copper replaces the iron sulphate or not. Yes, here the copper sulphate does not replaces the iron. Why it is happening here? Why the copper does not replace the iron? In before picture we saw that iron replaces the copper from the solution. It will form iron sulphate. From copper sulphate we got iron sulphate. But here from iron sulphate the copper does not replace the iron, because you can see here metal activity series, the place of iron and copper. So the copper is less reactive than iron. We can say that this iron is more reactive metal than copper. So that's why the copper is replaces the iron is replaces the copper. The copper does not replaces the iron because of its less reactivity. So the reaction does not takes place here. The answer is no. Yes, because of less reactivity of copper. So this is about some of the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Thank you.